Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, I am Emma. I run Endometriosis M on Instagram, and today we're going to be answering some questions from the Like Health team. So let's get right into it. My first question here is, what is your life mantra? My life mantra, something that I'm constantly reminding myself of, is that healing is not linear. There's going to be ups and downs, and just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean that you're not healing. And to be able to sit with yourself on those bad days and not judge yourself for those bad days and give yourself what you need so that you can have more good days. All right, our next question. Can you share your endo story with us? Yes. So my pain started around the age of 13 at the start of my first period. My period was very heavy, irregular. I had a lot of pain surrounding my period, but I kind of just thought that that's what cramps were. I thought that this is what everybody kind of went through, and I didn't want to bring it up to people because it was a taboo topic that not a lot of people talked about at the time. But at the age of 15, my pain was progressing. I was in the nurse's office almost weekly, and my teachers thought that I was skipping class because I had nothing to show for my pain. Everything was hurting on the inside, but everything looked fine on the outside. So at the age of 15, I went to my primary care and I told them what was going on, that I had really heavy, irregular periods that were knocking me off my feet. I was in the nurse's office. I needed a heating pad. I needed to lay down. I would be doubled over on the floor and unable to move. And my doctors assured me that this is what everybody goes through. They were going to throw me on birth control and it was going to fix all of my problems. Between the ages of 15 and 18, I went on 10 plus different birth controls that none of which helped me, all of which actually made my symptoms worse. I had weight gain, brain fog, and I just lost touch with my body even more so. So at the age of 18, I was going to gastros. I was going to a lot of different specialists trying to figure out what exactly was going on with my body. Everything was coming back normal. All of my tests showed that I was fine, therefore everybody thought that I was fine, and all of my doctors were basically throwing their hands up in the air and saying, well, your tests are coming back fine, therefore you are fine, and maybe it's in your head, maybe you're dramatic, maybe you just have a low pain tolerance. Basically this is what everybody goes through and you're just not strong enough. And that really got to me, because then I was convinced by my doctors, by my family, by my nurses at school, by my teachers, that because nobody could see my pain, that it wasn't valid. And for 7+ years, I thought that I was crazy because nobody could figure out what was going on with me. At the age of 20, I finally found an OBGYN that thought that I had endometriosis. He scheduled me for a surgery 2 weeks out, and through that surgery, I had a laparoscopy. And they excised and used ablation to remove the endometriosis from my body. They found that everything on my inside was like a spider web. I had endo growing from my stomach to the sidewalls of my stomach, to my bowels, to my ovaries, my uterus, and basically the reason that I was having so many issues with, I was having a lot of gastro issues. I was diagnosed with IBS, which is a very common thing for endometriosis warriors, to have that diagnosis before endometriosis. So it kind of showed me that I'm not crazy. After 7 years of being told that I was crazy and convincing myself that I was crazy, I finally had a name to put to my pain. And since then, I've been using social media as a platform to raise awareness, to talk to others and let them know that they're not alone, because that's something that I could have used through my journey. Just someone to tell me that I believe you, or there are people out there that want to help you. And I've just kind of wanted to do that, and to let people know that they're not alone, because there are so many people out there that go through this journey and go their entire lives not saying anything because they just think that it's normal, and being in pain every day is normal, and that's just how their bodies are, and it's just simply not true. So I've been trying to raise awareness for the past few years. I'm now 22 years old, and I am in the process of finding a new surgeon, that an endometriosis excision specialist, which is so important. Don't go to your OBGYN if you think that you have endo. Please, please, please find an endometriosis excision specialist to help you. But I'm currently on that journey right now, looking for a specialist that would be able to help me. So let's do our next question. What inspires you? The chronic illness community, everybody out there that chooses to share their story, because for so long I was in the dark and thought that it was just me going through what I was going through, and I was finally opened up to the chronic illness community around the age of 20 when I had my diagnosis, and it's just a whole world out there of people that truly understand what you're going through, and seeing other people's stories encouraged me to share my story, which has encouraged other people to share their story, and it's just a really amazing community of people that are working together so that we can love and support one another while we are going through what we're going through. And our next question, what do you take pride in? I would definitely say that I take pride in having the courage now to share my story, because like I said, it hasn't always been that way. I was convinced for so long that I was crazy, and I kept quiet, and I suffered in silence because I didn't want to be a burden to other people, and I didn't want to complain to other people, because ultimately I thought that I was crazy. And ever since sharing my story, I've been opened up to an amazing community of people. I'm gonna cry. An amazing community of people that truly understand what I'm going through, people that are going through similar journeys, and just the feeling of knowing that you're not alone. And there's something so empowering about being able to stand here and say, this is me, this is what I'm going through. If you don't like it, then you don't have to be here, but this is me, and I'm not going to hide anything anymore, because people deserve to know who I am. So, our next question. What is your biggest daily challenge? Okay, I would say that my biggest daily challenge is never really knowing how my body is going to react to specific situations. Since endometriosis is a dynamic disability, it means that 1 second we could be jumping around, having the time of our lives and feeling amazing, and then the very next second we're on the ground screaming for help, unable to move, unable to breathe, and needing to go to a hospital. So I think that has been my biggest struggle, because it's really hard not knowing, feeling out of control with your body, not really knowing how it's going to react to different things. Like, will I be able to go make it to the mailbox today? Or will I have a flare up in the middle and not be able to make it? Or do I need to bring my cane with me today? Or do I feel great? But as time has gone on, I am able to work with my body and figure out the things that trigger my body, the things that my body does and doesn't like, and just learning more about myself and doing the things that make me feel good and trying to avoid the things that don't make me feel good. And I think I've been finding a nice, happy balance, better than before. And yeah. Okay, our next question is, what fact about you surprises people the most? I would say that people are very surprised when they find out that I am in pain 24/7. Because you wouldn't know it by looking at me, because I'm a very bubbly person. I always have a smile on my face, or most of the time. And we're just really good at hiding what we're going through, because that is what we've been conditioned to do our entire lives, is to hide and to not talk about what we're going through, because people never really understood. So I think that definitely surprises people, but people are so understanding about it once I explain myself. And I have been able to really find the people that love and support me, and I've lost a lot of friends through this journey, but it's really showed me who loves me for me and who's going to be there. And I don't know, I'm just really grateful for that. So, our next question. What's a secret perk of your condition? See, I think this is not talked about enough. I do talk about the negative. It's very easy to focus on the negative aspects of a chronic illness, but there are definitely some positives, and I would say that at least one of the positives is it's forced me to slow down. It's forced me to love myself and get to know my body, because my entire life I hated my body. I thought that it was fighting against me. I blamed it for everything that I was going through, and since slowing down and being able to connect with my body, I know that I am one with my body and I love my body, and I'm finding the things that make my body feel good. And instead of thinking that it's fighting me, I am doing everything in my power to give it all the things that it needs so that we can work together and feel better, because that's what we all want, is to feel better. What's one thing you can't live without? If you know me, you know that I have a heating pad on me constantly. I don't have one right now on me as I say that, but it is right over there on my bed. And my favorite heating pad right now is the Thermo Relief Wet Heat Heating Pad. I got it off of Amazon. It's a little bit pricey. It was about $50. It's huge. I can't even show it to you this way. It's like this big. All right, that was a little weird. My phone just cut me off, so we're going to continue. But as I was saying, the heating pad is really big, so I'm able to have it go from my chest all the way down in between my legs. So I have a lot of chest pain, a lot of abdomen pain, a lot of pain throughout my legs, basically everywhere. So it's just really nice to have a really big heating pad. So if you're looking for a heating pad, I definitely recommend that, because it has been my lifesaver. I love it so much. But yes, okay, let's go to our next question. Why is engaging with your likes important to you? Being able to communicate with my likes is super important to me because, like I said many times in this interview, I have gone through so many years of my life thinking that I was crazy, and I know that there are so many other people out there in the endo community that have gone through the same thing. And being able to have a place where we can talk to one another and see how alike we are with one another, because I thought that I was alone for so many years and thought that I was the only one going through the things that I was going through. And being able to engage with my like shows me that, oh my gosh, there are other people out there, and this person is 86% similar to me, or this person's 91% similar to me. And then being able to click on their profile and see why you are so similar, what conditions they have that you also have, and then also the conditions that they have that you don't have. And you're able to compare and contrast the different medications that they've been on, the different treatments that they've had. And it's just really, really empowering being able to have a place where you can talk to one another, and it's a community of people. Every person there understands what you're going through. They are going through a similar journey as you, and you're able to ask questions that you might not ask your family or your friends because they simply just don't get it. And it's just a free forum for people to discuss and to relate and to support and love one another. And I just think that that's super, super special. And our very last question today. What is something that we should know about endo? Something that I wish people knew about endo is that it is so prevalent. It affects 1 in 10 people born with uteruses, which is a lot of people. And so many people go through their life undiagnosed because they don't realize that what they're going through is not normal. Being in pain is not normal. And I think that that's something that I wish I knew growing up, was that being in pain is not normal. And just because you're going through it doesn't mean that you should be going through it. And there are people out there that want to help you. It's just a matter of finding them. And you might have to see 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 plus doctors before you find that person that's going to help you. But all right, I just got cut off again. My phone is not really working with me today. But as I was saying, I just wish that people knew how prevalent endometriosis is in our community, in the world in general, because it is so prevalent. And I wish that people knew how much it really truly does affect us, because so many people think that it's just a bad period. I struggle with my endo pain 24/7, and it affects me anywhere from my head to my toes. And I think that that's really hard for people to understand, because there's so much misinformation out there and misconceptions about endometriosis and how it's just a bad period, or you're just weak, or it's not just a bad period, it's not just a uterine illness, it is a full body illness that affects every single aspect of our life. And I just wish that people knew how much it really does affect us, because by the look of me, you wouldn't really be able to tell that I am in pain, but I am. So just always remember to be kind to one another, because you really never know what people are going through. And it costs $0 to be a kind person. So, but yeah, that's all I have for questions today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned a thing or two about endo. And if you have any questions or want to talk, you can reach me at endometriosism on Instagram. My DMs are always open. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I love you so much.